Hi, this is Tavi Greiner, Astronomy.fm's Vice President of Communications. If you enjoy our programming, please let us know with a donation to astronomy.fm/donate. We really do rely on your support, and it's true, every little bit counts.
AFM.
The sun is yellow, Sirius is blue, and good grief, the sky is too. I like listening to the voice of the universe, Astronomy.fm radio.
Hello and welcome to another edition of CometWatch. Hello and welcome to the August edition of CometWatch, the show that nearly didn't happen this month. I've been having Skype issues. I guess other people are too. However, the good thing is I'm here and my co-host is here.
Hi. It's Mary McIntyre.
Well, at least two of us made it. Unfortunately, I don't know what's going on. I have been trying to get hold of Neil, and I couldn't get through. I couldn't even get through on his mobile phone. So, I'm not sure what's happening. Neil, whatever happening, mate, is hope it all gets sorted out, and we miss you, and you should make it next month, I hope. So, let's go. Let's do the shipping forecast, and we're going to have a heck of a lot of fun with this, I'm sure. At least we know we're getting one name right. Mr. Boomplod tells us that we are doing it correct, so...
Okay, good.
That's always good. Okay, so, you want to kick off for a change?
Yes, I can do. Okay, so on July the 24th, Zhejiang Zhu reports a Kreutz Group comet in real-time C3 images.
On July 30th, Warchort Boomplod reports a Kreutz Group in real-time C3 images.
And July the 31st, Warshot Bloomplod reports a Kreutz Group comet in real-time C3 images.
August the 1st, Warchort Boomplod reports a Kreutz Group comet in real-time C3 images.
And August the 11th, Rayner Cracked reports a Marsden Group comet in real-time C2 images.
August the 11th still, and Warchort Boomplod reports a Marsden Group comet in real-time C2 images.
August the 12th, Masanori Uchino reports a Maya Group comet in real-time C2 images.
August the 13th, recovery of 2010 A1 periodic Hill as 2018 P1 by Edwin Schwab reported.
And August the 13th again, we have recovery of 2001 T3 periodic NEAT as 2018 P2 by Erwin Schwab reported.
August the 13th again, cometary activity found in 2018 KJ3, sorry.
And again on August the 13th, Warshot Bloomplod reports a Kreutz Group comet in real-time C3 images.
On August the 17th, discovery of 2018 01 Atlas reported.
And on August the 18th, we had the discovery of 2018 P3 Pan-STARRS reported.
On August the 18th again, discovery of 2018 P4 periodic Pan-STARRS reported.
Busy for them on the 18th of August again, discovery of 2018 P5 Pan-STARRS reported.
On August the 19th, Warchort Bloomplod reports a Kreutz Group comet in real-time C3 images.
And on the 21st of August, the site was updated.
Now, moving on to current comet magnitudes for August the 16th and observable region August the 1st. So, oh yes, it's our old friend here, 21P Jacobini Zinner, magnitude 8 bright, 55 degrees north, 10 degrees south, visible all night, and last visual observation was August 2018.
Then we have Pan-STARRS 2017 S3, currently at magnitude 8 and steady ? Observable 55 north to 5 south. That's a morning object, and last visual observation reported in August 2018.
And Pan-STARRS 2016 M1, magnitude 9, fade, 20 degrees north to 90 degrees south. It's best in the early evening, and again, last visually observed in August 2018.
Then we have Atlas 2017 T3, currently magnitude 9 and fading, observable 30 degrees south to 90 degrees south. That's best viewed early morning, and the last visual observation was July 2018.
Now it's Neowise 2018 N1, 9.5 magnitude, fading, 45 degrees north to 90 degrees south. Best in the evening, last visually observed in August 2018. I did actually try to image this one tonight, but the full moon is being a little bit difficult, and so is Jupiter, I believe.
And then we have 38p Stefan Ottomar. That is magnitude 11 and brightening. Observable 45 degrees north to 50 degrees south. That's best viewed in the morning, and the last visual observation was August 2018.
Now we have 37p Forbes, 12 magnitude. It's beginning to fade a bit. Observable 55 degrees north to 60 degrees south. It is best in the morning, and last visual observation was August 2018.
And we have Pan-STARRS 2016 R2, currently at magnitude 12 and fading, currently at poor elongation. Last visual observation was August 2018.
Okay, and 46p Whitron, okay, magnitude 13 question mark, bright, 40 degrees north to 70 degrees south. It's a morning object not yet observed visually. I did manage to get an image of this one recently over the last week or so, and it's a tricky little one, this one.
Yeah, Mag 13, I imagine it was. We also have Lemon 2018 EF9, that's Mag 12.5 and fading, currently poor elongation. Last visual observation was May 2018.
Le Mans 2018 EF9, 12.5, fading. Hang on,
I've just done that one, yes.
Okay, I'm lost. Okay, I did Whitron. Okay, 46p Swift Gerals, 13th magnitude, bright, 60 degrees north to 45 degrees south. Best in the morning, last visually observed August 2018.
66p de Toit, that's magnitude 13 and fading, observe 30 degrees north to 65 degrees south. That's visible in the morning, and the last visual observation for that was July 2018.
240p Neat, magnitude 13 question mark, steady. Again, this has got a poor elongation against it, and not yet observed.
Then we have 29p Strashman Vachman, that is magnitude 13 question mark. Of course, we all know that varies. Observable 55 north to 65 degrees south. That's best viewed in the morning. Last visual observation was August 2018.
Actually, I did actually try for this one last week, and I've been very lax. I haven't marked up my pictures yet, and I haven't posted them yet, but I need to get those off to Richard Miles regardless.
Yeah,
Atlas,
definitely.
My trick is to call it SW1, because there's actually two, believe it or not.
Yeah, there are two.
Okay, Atlas 2018 L2, 13.5 bright, 20 degrees north to 70 degrees south, evening object not yet observed.
Then we have Atlas 2017 M4, that's 13.5 and steady, observable 55 north to 20 south, that's best in the evening. Last visual observation was July 2018.
And 28p Johnson, 13.5 steady, 35 degrees north to 80 degrees south, best in the morning, is last visually observed August 2018.
And finally we have Pan-STARRS 2015-01, that's currently 13.5 and fading. That has poor elongation, so the last visual observation was July 2018.
Okay, now the observable region obviously is an approximate indication of the latitude which the comet may be seen. Under good conditions, obviously it may be visible outside its range. The period is when visible is for the UK. If the comet is visible from the UK, otherwise for 40 south or the equator is appropriate. As most people are aware, the last visual observation is as received by the section. Details are often updated on the basis of observations published elsewhere. Beginners will find comets fainter than 7th magnitude difficult to locate. I can vouch for this. Even if you're imaging, actually being 100% sure that you've got it, yet it can be difficult, and don't let it get you down. Use the best possible information and find a chart. I like to go to the Sky Live because they give me some pretty accurate locations. You can put the pointer for where your telescope is pretty much dead on where you're observing from, and that will give you a very, very good readout for RA and DEC. The other thing, of course, is I tend to say anything under 30 degrees above the horizon, you're going to be pushing your luck. But sometimes you do that and it comes out well. Now,
so the other thing I find helpful when you're beginning is to take some time to configure Stellarium or whatever planetarium software you've got, because if you've got the ocular view there, you can see the star field and you'll know exactly what you're looking for. So even if it's a very faint comet, you can take a picture and compare the star field and know whether you're in the right place or not. So that's something that I certainly find helpful.
And of course, there's the 3 comets which are in the news at the moment is still 21P, 2017 S3, and 27 T3 is reported at 10th magnitude in the twilight. Sadly, it will not become visible from the UK. It is going to be remote imaging if you're a UK-based imager. And of course, the other thing is that there is to be a pro-am observing campaign on 46p this year. It's a brief observing window for UK observers in September, which will be useful for determining the magnitude parameters of this return. But as sadly as always at the moment, it will be best seen from the southern hemisphere. So
we all need to emigrate, don't we? We just don't seem to be getting anything decent.
Yeah, I can just imagine Jen, Terry, and Rodney being told, "Hey guys, we got Australian passports." But knowing them, they'll probably throw a whopping great party, knowing them.
Oh yeah, big telescope party.
Oh yeah, and particularly since Jen's now got her observatory built.
Yeah, it's looking awesome. That.
Yeah.
So jealous.
Well, I say, she's muttering to me in private about when I'm talking about the scope I'm ordering. So, Jen, you're one up on me. You got a permanent home for your telescope. I've yet to get that done. So.
Yeah, you're going to top trump everyone with that scope when it comes, though.
Well, I'm really looking forward to it because although I'm going to be doing a lot of lunar work, but it's going to be really the aperture and the actual the light gathering capacity is going to be really great for comets, and it's going to be really, really nice. I love remote imaging, but it's not the same as sitting at your own computer that's linked to your own telescope.
It is different, isn't it? Yeah. I like both, but it is different.
Of course, the other thing is everybody wrote off 2017 S3 because it was thought to become a sun diver, and they thought it was going to pretty much evaporate when it went round the sun. But it seems to be surviving. And what's more interesting, it appears it could continue to brighten. But as to the current magnitude, well, that could differ from given by a couple of what we've given above by a couple of magnitudes. It is in conjunction right now, so we're all sitting here very, very tensely waiting for it to come out from behind the sun and to see is it going to really kick off the display.
It just shows with both S3 and 21P are kind of having these really weird periods of just brightening and then fading again. You just can't rely on the predicted magnitude. You've just got to get out and hope that you catch it in outburst.
Yeah. The other thing, of course, is with particularly with comets like 46P, these are Jupiter family comets. They go out as far as maybe as Saturn. Then they come back in, and they might come in maybe as close as Mars. So, the 46P is actually ahead of schedule. They're talking for some of its magnitudes. It's brighter than a lot of people thought it was going to be, which is really interesting.
Yeah.
And of course, 29P continues to amaze us and is going into regular outburst again. So. All I want for Christmas is a space probe to 29p, please.
Well, they are saying that tentatively that 46p could be naked eye by December, so we might get a comet for Christmas.
Yep. that is going to be the interesting thing. But again, is the naked eye in December? That's probably going to be more for southern observers. I think it's more going to be Jen, Terry, and Rodney who are going to get to see that with the naked eye.
Oh yeah, we're going to get a brief chance in September, and that's it for us, isn't it? Unfortunately.
But it passes at about 0.78 astronomical units from us, and it should remain within visual range until March 2019.
I have a question. It may be a silly question, but why is it that nearly all the comets seem to be best viewed from the southern hemisphere? Is it down to where the sky surveys are located that are picking them up, or is there another reason why they all seem to favour the south?
I think in some of the cases it's when we're getting them before they go around the sun in some cases. So a lot of to what I'm thinking is when they come back out from conjunction, they're on their southern leg, the southern sky leg, and of course they've heated up an awful lot more than they were on their initial inbound trajectory. But that's what I think it is. I think a lot of these are getting to outgas more because they're closer to the sun, or they've gone around it, and of course the heat from the solar wind, the actual sun itself has caused them to really kick into overdrive. Right. That's my view on it. And if anybody out there thinks has a better explanation, I would love to hear it. But that's what I've been seeing. A lot of the comets have really kicked up after they've come out of conjunction, because then they are in southern skies, and of course they're getting the shows, the big shows, and we get the pre-show like.
Yeah, something that's Mag 14.
Well, even with some of the pre-shows, we've had disconnection events. We've had a tail completely vanish, and then a period of time later it starts to grow again, and that's what the southern sky astronomers have missed. They've had to look at our pictures of these disconnections, etc., because they're happening up in the north. But it would be nice. I suppose. I wonder if they actually let us in with using the title of astronomer. We are astronomers. We are a tourist attraction. Maybe the state of Victoria will buy that. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe.
Stranger things have happened.
Worth a try.
But I did get I know that you said Mark has been imaging 21p.
He has, yeah. He managed to kind of do a bit of a time lapse on it, and boy, that thing is really moving. You can really see the movement against the background on it. So yeah, he's had a couple of bashes at imaging that from the observatory shed. I think 3 times now that he's imaged it, and it's come out really well. Had a bit of a battle with the colour, and I think I said to you before offline that I've noticed a lot of people's images. Quite often comets just look very green, but I've noticed on quite a few images of 21p that the green bit seems to be centred around one area, and I don't know if that's an artefact, but more than one person has seemed to have caught that, so I'm not quite sure what's going on.
I will put a link into the pictures I've shared. I did actually share a picture with Mary just before we started the show, and looking at it, I can see that. So I don't, if everybody else is imaging that as well, I don't think it's an artifact.
Yeah, it just seems to be one edge is greener than the rest, and everything else is quite white. So,
but then again,
certainly an interesting object.
And it's a very beautiful comet, because there's
Has it got 2 tails? Did I see something yesterday? Somebody posted a picture of it. I think they said it had 2 tails.
Yeah, I think there was. I seem to. I want to say that I heard of a disconnection event, and then maybe the tails have started to reform.
Right.
But
I knew I'd seen something, but my brain's not with it.
It's. I think I've seen the same thing you have, but it's a very compact little mover as well. So it's still nice. It's nice to see.
I really hope that I get a chance to get out and do it myself. Get out in the observatory shed, and because we've got a new Altair camera now. We've got a 183C hypercam, so
that's the one I'm looking at.
yeah, it's really nice, and it's purple, which works for me.
Okay, makes
really
note
nice
not
camera.
to get purple hypercam, so it doesn't get taken by somebody else who likes purple. I'm getting looks now from my daughter, no, I've seen that camera. It looks quite good. Have you got the mono version or the colour version?
We've got the colour one because we bought a mono camera previously when we got an ASI, and kind of regretted it. It was one of those things where everyone said the mono's better, and using filters and whatever, you'll get a better result. The number of nights that we get good enough seeing for that to really be of benefit are so few that it just really wasn't worthwhile. And I really miss the colour. Particularly doing lunar work, I like the colour in the different lava plains, and I don't like the ridiculously oversaturated mineral moons, as people call it, but I do like some colour on there. So it's good to have the option of having either or to play with.
I have to admit, some of the charts are being published now as mineral charts more than ever, so I suppose that's going to help us get back into high Earth orbit and beyond, because people want the minerals there. Yeah,
well, we can hope.
However, the good news is that 21p is visible in large binoculars, and this is a report from Central Cambridge in the UK. And Central Cambridge, as I know for a fact, is heavily light polluted.
It certainly is. So once the moon wanes, because we're kind of full moon in 12 hours or so, 12 or 13 hours from the time we're recording. So once the moon starts waning, hopefully we'll have a chance. But there are actually some really nice conjunctions coming up. I was just actually looking through on Stellarium if people are interested, because I really love cometary conjunctions. The kind of final week of August, there's two open clusters, NGC 1528 and 1545, and 21p is going to pass quite close to them. And then a bit further on into September, it's kind of moving down, going to be quite close to Capella. I like bright stars nearby as well. I think they look pretty. And we've got ND 1664, which is another open cluster. So there's quite a few interesting objects that it's kind of passing through. There's a whole cluster. There's a cluster of clusters when you get sort of to mid-September. So it's a busy part of the sky in terms of clusters and whatnot. So definitely worth keeping an eye on the charts and getting some nice conjunctions.
Yeah, because I remember back to Comet Holmes. That was one of probably the earliest comets I ever imaged. Now I have something like 12,000 images online at the moment, which is a scary thought, since 2007.
Blimey, I thought I was bad at 4,500.
I used to, at one point I was like, we had the place I was using had unlimited number of missions, and I think between three of us we had pretty much taken the whole use of one telescope for the night. So you can imagine a lot of people were logging in and all these there's nothing available. Sorry. But no, the North American Nebula springs to mind with Comet Holmes.
Beautiful.
That was a classic one. That was.
Well, we've just had the Heart and Soul Nebula, haven't we, near 21p? I missed it. We didn't have the weather when it was there. Absolutely stunning.
I can imagine. Yeah, I've had the same issue because the Canary Islands, the scope I use is located there. And unfortunately, they get these lovely dust storms off the Sahara every now and again.
Oh no.
And that's a case of everybody just hunkers down, shuts down, makes sure there's no way the dust can get in the domes.
No, not worth it.
No, it's not.
I mean, you wouldn't get a good image anyway if you got that much dust in the atmosphere. It'd be terrible on a faint comet.
But looking right now online, using the online planetarium, It is actually currently in Perseus at the moment. So I'm not sure how this is going to affect.
Oh, because somebody posted a really nice picture of it with a Perseid meteor alongside, didn't they?
Yeah.
That was special.
Okay, let me just come back out of here because I'm just trying to... What I'm trying to do is I'm actually trying to use some software that's online. As of August the 25th, it was in Camelopardis. Now, I'm triggering a large high-precision star chart. Now, what this is doing, this is actually showing me where it is against the sky. And...
It's kind of moving down towards Auriga, isn't it?
Yeah, it is at the moment, yeah. So
it's going to start getting very low in our skies, unfortunately.
Yep, and eventually I'll have to switch over to using using Siding Springs to get any future pictures of it, because it'll just be too low even for the Canaries eventually. But there are, as I say, I will put a link to this in the show notes, and have a look and do your best, knock yourself out, because there's some very bright stars it's going to pass relatively close to. Now I've only got catalogue numbers coming up, so rather than bore everybody to pieces with that, I'll switch to the planetarium look and let's see what we can pull up. I like this site.
What site is that you're using again, sorry?
theskylive.com.
Okay.
You have major bodies, asteroids, comets and space probes. So I'm just permanently locked into the Comet page at the moment, and it has, we've missed an opportunity with the Dumbbell Nebula, because that's well past.
Oh, that's a shame.
Yeah.
Love that object.
It's going into Camelopardis out of Perseus right now, and let's see what happens, because normally if I trigger the clock, here we go. So I've just jumped to the 26th, and it is approaching Beta Camelopardis as of 3:05 UT. So it's a very nice triangle, a very nice line between Beta Camelopardis and Alpha Perseus. So,
looking at that page live, it is pretty much sitting right next to the Perseid's radiant, isn't it?
It is, yeah. Just a smudge down, but if they were active, it would be crazy on all the remote scopes.
Yeah.
But some people did get lucky; they did manage to get it. So there's always a chance. And to be honest, that's probably the best thing about remote imaging. I know everybody whines, "Oh, it's not proper astronomy." Yes, it is. It's proper imaging because you're controlling the telescopes, and you're doing the actual processing of the raw data yourself.
And that's the bit that takes the time when you kind of get serious about astrophotography. So it makes no difference how the stuff's been shot, whether it's been done at Siding Springs or in a garden in Oxfordshire. The skill's still there. I bet you had a really good chat with Pete about this on Event Horizon, didn't you?
Yes, we did. Yes, that was one of the things that we decided we were going to bring up. We'll be having a pre-show chat with Pete, and he was kind of glad we did, because let's face it, if I had access to, say, something like the AAT, I would probably never go to work again. I would be permanently logged into the AAT imaging 24/7. Well, as long as it was night in Australia. If I had access to some of the big boys telescopes on the Canaries, forget about seeing me for the next month.
The stuff that he does with the 2 meter scope, it's a 2 meter Ritchie Crescent. It's insane. And then somebody stole one of the images from there and tried to pass it off as being done with a 4-inch refractor, which is hilarious.
That's one of the things that gets me. in the Facebook group that we're all part of, CometWatch, we have a very high turnover on images. We see a lot of stuff coming through, and admittedly, it is very, very easy for someone to take somebody else's picture and mark it up as their own and slap their own telescope data on it. The thing is, we're not stupid,
No.
and the majority of all the people in the groups are just like us. They know what X type of telescope can do. And let's be honest, if you're telling me you've got an ETX 90 and you've just taken a beautiful picture of, say, the Dumbbell Nebula or even 21p, like the one I'll share with the show notes, that ain't gonna happen. Not with a table-mounted ETX.
Thing is, these people don't care that they're trying to pass it off. All that matters is they've got a pretty picture, and that just increases post engagement on their social media platform, and that then monetizes it. So, I mean, there's one guy that got called out for this last week, and he's like, yeah, I know, but I wanted more engagement on my photography page. There was somebody faked a Milky Way image that claimed was taken from the UK, which was showing a portion of the Milky Way that just isn't visible from the UK, and he just openly admitted that he was doing it because he wanted post likes. That's all that mattered to him. The fact his reputation's now shot didn't come into it. He just wanted likes. That's quite sad. It's really sad.
My daughter can probably attest to the frustration she's heard from me when I've spent 20 minutes setting up an imaging run on a half-meter Ritchie Crichton with an with one of the latest S-Big cameras, to turn around and suddenly the Weather XI. You notice with me, a lot of people notice with me, I speak sometimes in cricket terms. The joke used to be it was the Slew XI or the iTelescope XI against the Weather XI. Life is a game of cricket in some respects. You spend some time in batting, bowling, fielding, and then it's your turn to do the other part of the game. And the weather likes to play games with astronomers. Very much, it loves to play games with us because we buy a piece of kit. We can guarantee that in the next few weeks we're going to probably spend the next 2 weeks not being able to even use it.
You don't even need to buy anything. You just have to have an important astronomical event happening, then it'll be cloudy.
Exactly.
After the summer we've had, and it was cloudy on the 2 main peak nights of the Perseids. Like, come on.
The thing that sticks in my mind, going off a bit off topic, I guess, really, was Patrick Moore filming the eclipse from Chelsea. I don't know if you remember that, and they got this window. I know they tried to do it with the moon very early in the Scarlet Knight's life, and they did it again with an eclipse, and they were playing chase with the clouds. All because there was a camera team there, and the day before it had been perfectly clear.
Oh dear.
And then the day after it was perfectly clear too. But that's part of being an astronomer, really. You take the odd googly and the odd one to the head or to the pads as being part of the hobby, really.
Yeah, well, occasionally it's nice to get some sleep, I suppose.
Some sleep or get caught up on studies.
Caught up on studies or reprocessing old data or whatever.
Yeah. Sometimes actually having the time, because you're clouded out to reprocess, you suddenly find things that you missed the first time around. A lot of people have been reworking a lot of their Comet images and have pulled up stuff that was just simply missed. Most of us, when we're doing the processing, I don't know about you, but I know for a fact when I've been processing, I have a big mug of coffee beside me, and it's lift, slurp, do this, lift, slurp, do this, and you miss stuff because you're so tired because you've spent half the night up with your kit, because you know there's a front coming in and it's supposed to rain by 3 a.m. So you want to grab as many photons as you can, and then of course the next day you're and you're trying to process your images.
I think it was Tracy Snellis who gave me one of the best pieces of advice when it came to that, and because I used to be in such a hurry to process it and get it out online to show people what I'd been doing, and you invariably make mistakes because you've rushed it. You've finished imaging at 3, you think I'll just have a quick look before I go to bed, and then you still sat there at 7. So you just end up making a complete mess of it, then reprocessing. So now I don't do that. I actually go to sleep and do it when I'm not in a rush, when I'm not tired, and you do get a better result out of it. If you're working at 4 in the morning and you're really tired and trying to keep yourself awake with coffee, you miss out crucial steps of your workflow because you're just so glazed over, and it's just not worth it. You end up with reprocess number 1, reprocess number 2, reprocess number 3, and by that time you've lost the will to live in terms of sharing to all the groups and everything. So it's better to just hold back a day or 2 and actually get it right first time.
Yeah, I totally agree. In fact, one of the things I've found with the processing software I'm using, I make a series of copies of the files, so I have a total untouched originals, and then I process using the copies. So if I am gonna get totally and utterly thick-fingered and blurred vision and everything else, if I at least I have got a set of files I can start from scratch and do everything again with.
Yeah, it's important. I think I so often end up scrapping everything and starting over. You just get too heavy-handed, or you get carried away with something. And when I'm working in Photoshop, I literally create a duplicate layer for every step.
Yeah,
because it's so easy to hose it up horribly. So it's just...
Oh yeah. But as I say, the other side of it is, I suppose that everybody's touting AI will make your life easier. I want to see them teach an AI to process an astronomical image.
Yeah, good luck with that. I can't even make mine look the same twice with my own data.
I think that's part of the fun, really. You've got the raw data. I do sometimes. I'll say, "What the heck," and I will produce a PNG to share. If I'm really happy with what I've got as a basic, then I'll quickly flash it to a PNG. So I've still got my originals to process totally. And if it's a good one, and I'll just share it very, very quickly. And one of the things I will suggest is don't use Facebook to share your original, because they will completely and utterly mess up your picture.
Yeah, it makes such a mess. I only ever now upload to Flickr and just share the links. And if people want the preview that they give you when you do that's horrendous, but at least if you click on it, you do get the proper high-res image. Totally. And then you've got all the detail in the description box and stuff. So that's the way I work. Incidentally, what software do you use for processing comets? I'm just interested.
I use Nebulosity, Stark Labs.
Oh, okay.
I haven't decided. I have played with PixInsight. I like PixInsight. PixInsight's a really heavy learning curve against Nebulosity. There's actually a set of YouTube videos on Nebulosity. One set is the actual Stark Labs ones. One is a UK astronomer who literally filmed every step he does on the image of a nebula. I think it was a nebula or a galaxy he had, and it was really, really, that for me was a lot simpler, because he was just doing everything, doing batches of everything. So he'd do all his flats at once, he'd do all his darks, he would then have a whole series of pre-processed files to merge to get the final image.
So you can stack with Nebulosity, can't you?
Yes, you can.
You can. Because historically I'm not very good at making DSS work properly with Comet stuff. It will stack on one or the other, but when I try and do both, I just end up losing so much data. So it's just a skill that I just need to practice more, really.
I completely gave up using Photoshop for astronomical imaging. I have it. I have Fitz Liberator, but I don't use it anymore.
I do. I've only got CS2, but I do still use Photoshop for all my deep sky stuff.
But I suppose I just got to the point where I just gave up have the will to go through all these extra steps and learn all these new things that Photoshop is insisting I have to do to my images. And I said, okay, fine, I can't be bothered. Then I started looking around for something which was better but simpler. And there's about three. It boils down to about three packages. SPG I'm told is a good one. I see a lot of people in the groups portraying that as being God's answer to everything. PixInsight, which is worth the money. With the work that those guys have put in, it is well worth the money.
Yeah, in terms of software prices, it's actually quite. It's not cheap, but it's certainly not the most expensive out there. You compare it to the likes of Maxim, and it is. For how much use you get out of it and what a good job it does. I mean, even just for the dynamic background extraction function, it's worth the money, quite frankly. But then I recently got switched on to AstroFlat, which works really well as a Photoshop plugin. So my husband Mark always uses PixInsight now, and I always use Photoshop, and it's always interesting looking at our different results working our own way.
Sounds like a good way to work.
Well, completely separate from each other.
Well, you're doing it. You're doing everything in two different systems.
Yeah.
And at the end of the night or the end of the day, whichever, you compare results, and that alone can be interesting.
It is. It's really interesting. I mean, the only time we've ever collaborated in terms of data capture was on a honeymoon. But as soon as we got home, we did our own stacking and processed it our own way. It's just everyone works differently, and there's no right and wrong way, and there's about 800 different ways of doing the same thing, so you just got to go with what works for you, I guess.
Well, as I say, I tried. I got Nebulosity as trialware, so everything works. You can even save a picture, but it's going to have Nebulosity trial version across your picture.
I say it's watermarked, isn't it, when you use the trial? Yeah.
But the thing is, it allowed me to use one screen for the YouTube tutorial, and I could use my second screen to have the software up and to literally follow step by step.
Oh, that's so useful, having two screens for that.
Oh yeah, because that way I'm not flipping between browser
hit
and
pause and flipping back and then going backwards a bit, and it's a nuisance. Real nuisance. So, I've resorted to watching the tutorial on my phone and then doing the processing on my laptop.
That works, but I think if you get really seriously about imaging, two screens is a must.
Yeah, definitely.
3 is heaven. Because then you can have your tutorial up, you can have your processing software, and on the third screen you can just be seeing what the scope's looking at. That's what I'm aiming at.
Just go like Dixon's and have a bank of 15 on the wall.
That's a brilliant idea. Kind of like the Bridge of the Enterprise by that point. Either that will get the biggest flat screen TV, LED or plasma screen you can get something like a 70-inch plasma screen, put it on the wall, and then just have everything on that.
My images wouldn't take being put on something that big.
Well, you can have everything all on the one screen then. You'd be like sitting in the captain's chair of the Enterprise, using the view screen for everything.
You'd be really slumming it if you was ever away and had to go back to your laptop.
Oh, well, that's the nice thing. I've got a small TV screen, that's dual standard voltage-wise. So you can just connect it through the RGB port to the laptop. And then you've got two screens again.
Brilliant. We're so lucky that we live in such a great technology age, aren't we?
I suppose we are really, because I think without the technology that's come down from the military spy satellites, ironic, isn't it? CCDs were designed originally for the military to spy on the opposition. Then they found a very nice little way to recruit the R&D by flogging it to astronomers. And I think the reaction when the first CCDs actually became available to amateur astronomers was like, cool, no more hypersensitized film anymore. I've done that once.
It was so expensive, wasn't it, apart from anything else?
And as I say, if you really mucked up the negative, then you've lost everything. Because if you didn't do the hypersensitization right, and then you exposed your plate or film, call it what you want, then you've just lost everything you've worked so hard for. The great thing about CCDs is you can watch it, everything goes through into your computer. You can have it on your computer screen. You can see exactly what's going on, and you don't have to. You can maybe just guide using the mouse and the planetarium software, which is connected to the mount. So
yeah, the thought of losing everything like that makes me feel quite nauseous.
Yes, it does. But, I've got a little Windows 7 PC. It's got the gumption to run a telescope and to let me at least see what the camera's doing. Brilliant. That's the observatory machine. It will let me talk on Facebook or Skype or something. That's all that matters.
Yeah.
The house computer is going to be where all the processing's done, and that can take the load. Currently I've got a 4-core. A friend of mine is trying to convince me to let him upgrade my current computer to an octa-core, because he said there's more threads, you can do more processing and do it even faster. I don't know if I want to do it that fast.
That sounds like a Doctor Who baddie, doesn't it? Octa-core.
Yeah. or a Marvel one.
Oh yeah, definitely a Marvel one.
But at least the nice thing is we have the technology now. We are on a par with the professionals, equipment-wise. When you consider,
it just gets better and better every year. There's always something new coming out that just improves things even more. And this live stacking function is amazing. I'd love to have a go at that, because for outreach purposes, it just means what you're looking at in the eyepiece is just more than a grey fuzzy blob, which astronomers are excited about grey fuzzy blobs, but when you're doing outreach, they're always so underwhelmed when you show them stuff, and it makes me sad. So I know it's kind of cheating, but I think the live stacking thing is excellent.
I think the greatest thing about using CCDs for outreach is a lot of them now allow you to record video. Certainly that's always going to be a bonus if you're imaging the moon. Stack a whole bunch of AVIs, pull the best frames out and stack them. But the thing is, you can show so much more detail on a computer screen, because the camera is so much more sensitive than our eyes are, given the distance and the actual magnitude of the object.
Well, people struggle to use eyepieces properly as well, I find, and particularly the smaller ones. They can't seem to get their eye lined up properly with it, and you take it for granted because it's a skill that we've all done for years, but people that are new to astronomy, you bring them round to look through the eyepiece and they're just not seeing it. And kids really struggle. When you've got younger children looking through, they can't see what you're trying to show them at all, and particularly with the solar scopes, they seem to really struggle. So having it on the screen is brilliant for that, because everyone can crowd round at once. And of course, you get a child in front of a telescope, the first thing you do is grab hold of it to pull the eyepiece to them, so it's no longer pointing at the object. And it's all just a learning curve, but if you can just show it on a screen, it's a lot easier.
And of course the other great thing is people go away with saying, I've actually seen something.
Yeah. Plant those seeds and you just don't know what might grow at a later date.
Yeah, because the Harvard do an astronomy session in the spring and autumn and winter. Well, not so much in the winter. New York State winters are very hard on astronomers.
I bet.
I think that's probably why more astronomers in the snow zone are alcoholics than anything else. Trust me, minus 20, trying to set up a telescope, trying to connect everything, whereas your camera's probably thinking it's the best day of its life because the ambient temperature is
no noise whatsoever.
Yeah, but trying to set up, and then you're having to run out because it started to snow.
Well, the Geminids in the winter, I was out for 4 hours, sat on a recliner surrounded by 5 inches of snow, and it was about -6. I must be insane. Luckily, I kept popping in to kind of get hot chocolate and warm up, but yeah, that was really cold, and that's a good 15 degrees warmer than what you're talking about.
Yeah, because here it's Fahrenheit and it's heavier. Okay, so 30. Hang on, let me just pull up outside on my back porch right now. It is 32 degrees Celsius. Okay.
Right.
That's Celsius. If I push the button.
So that'd be about what, 84?
89 Fahrenheit.
89. That's warm.
That's warm, yeah. So you can imagine when it's at 0 Celsius, it's minus 32 Fahrenheit already. No, 30. Hang on, 32 Fahrenheit.
It's the other way around,
Celsius,
isn't it? Yeah.
So it may sound warm.
It's just not.
No. Which is why I always keep it in Celsius, because that way I know how cold it really is.
Yeah. See, when you know freezing point's naught, it's a bit easier to keep track.
Yeah.
Well, of course, because this year I discovered photographing snowflakes, so now even when it's snowing, I'm out with my camera trying to capture those on a piece of black cloth and whatever, and then trying to move on from that, trying to fossilise them in super glue, and it's like, I'm destined to never be warm again.
Come to the dark side. We have charge coupled devices and hot drinking chocolate.
Yeah.
Oh dear. Well, it's been, I think probably about time we wrapped up. About the 52
we've talked for longer than I expected we would, to be honest.
I think that's the nice thing about. As much as I love our guests and everything, we don't actually. It's very rare that we actually get to have a chat. We the hosts get to sit down and just have a general banter together, and I think this is one of the things I'm looking forward to when I come across in October, is getting together with you and Neil and and just having CometWatch at the pub.
It's going to be awesome.
That's going to be brilliant, because there'll be the nice ambient background noise of the pub,
because we've never met in person, have we?
No, none of us have ever met in person.
No.
Which is kind of strange. I think the only people I've actually met in regards to the Sky Guides is some of the Under British Sky crowd, because I met up with a couple of them at a BAA Comet section meeting back in around 2010. It was the big session when we were being wooed and ahed about Osiris Rex.
Okay.
A couple of the UBS, there was a couple of us there from Under British Skies, and of course I've met Nick Howes, and I've also met as well. On a couple of occasions, and
I do bump into people at astronomy festivals and stuff, but I've just not bumped into yourself or Nick, so it'll be Neil even.
Yeah.
You and Nick. I can tell it's getting near my bedtime.
Yeah.
Words aren't coming out right. But no, it'll be really good fun to actually do that in person for a change. I think it'll be really good.
Because we've known each other for quite a few years now, I think, really.
Yeah, it's been a while.
We know each other over the air and on social media, but to actually have a chance to sit down with a glass of beer or a glass of IPA fresh from the brewery almost. Oh, heaven.
Oh, nice.
And just have a bit of a chat and discuss stuff and hand around actual pictures we've taken. I'll have to print some pictures at some point.
I've been doing that a bit more recently. It's very different seeing them actually on paper.
Yeah, but it will be quite good fun to get together and just do a I suppose. Well, Rob Cohen says we can do a live show at some point. That would be interesting.
That would very much be interesting.
Because then we can take over the AFM chat room as well.
Yeah, it was good fun doing that when I was when I guested on Event Horizon.
Yeah, because everybody, and the thing is, even when you're doing a recording, if you're using it because it's an easier place to meet, because not everybody in our community has Facebook. Let's face it,
it's a shocking thought.
Yeah,
not having Facebook.
I know there was a couple of people that I was interviewed. Didn't have Facebook, so we used the AFM chat room, and obviously the people who listen to the shows are infrequently in and out, and there's this whole thing going on, and it was like, what's going on here? I said, oh yeah, we're actually recording the show. We're using the chat room. It was under British Skies that we did it. Yeah, we used the chat room. And it was like, so we actually got some real live, we got some real questions.
Oh wow, put on the spot or what?
Yeah. But yeah, it's going to be interesting. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, it'll be good fun.
Well, we're at 56 minutes, so I guess Michael and Rob will be very happy. It keeps their scheduling happy. So I suppose at this point we should say is good night from him, or her
and
rather in this case.
Good night from him.
Good night.
We hope that you've enjoyed this program from AFM Radio, the broadcast service of Astronomy.fm. This program has been released under Creative Commons license. Please contact us for details. You may find more of our AFM original programs on our website. It's really easy to find us. We are Astronomy.fm. You may also find us in the iTunes radio listings near the top of the News Talk section, and also as an iTunes podcast selection. We'd love to hear your comments. Please email us at radio@astronomy.fm. Thanks so much for being part of the voice of astronomy around the world and across the known universe. This is Astronomy.fm Radio.
Hi, this is Tavi Greiner, Astronomy.fm's Vice President of Communications. If you enjoy our programming, please let us know with a donation to astronomy.fm/donate. We really do rely on your support, and it's true, every little bit counts.
AFM